Hi friends, welcome back. I know it's been a minute. If it's your first time here, welcome. I'm Laurient, and I'm so happy that you're spending some time with me today. This video, format-wise anyway, is a little different than the ones I normally do because you're watching kind of a day in the life, but it's all B-roll footage and I'm just kind of yapping on mic. And I'm not even going to be yapping, like narrating what's going on. I'm just kind of chit-chatting with you because I feel like it's been a minute since we've had some solid girl talk. And I don't know, I just feel like I have some things I want to talk about, some things that have been going on lately, some changes that I'm making in myself and in my life that I'd like to share. So get cozy, grab a bevy, and let's talk about it. If you are watching this around the time that it was posted, which was October 2025, then I just recently turned 35. I'm officially a gal in her mid-30s. And if you're not in your 30s yet and you're a little freaked out, like you're like 28, 29, you're like, oh my God, 30, it's coming. So scary. I'm here to tell you, have no fear. It's actually wonderful. Being a woman in her 30s is incredible. I will say I have not loved everything I've had to go through in my 30s. God has thrown me some pretty tough battles in my early 30s to work through. But what I will say is it's all been a learning experience. And truly, I've learned more about myself and connected more with myself in my 30s than ever before in my life. I feel like I know myself so much better. I have a better handle on my past, traumas and experiences and the things that trigger me. And those help me kind of navigate through current relationships and situations so much differently than I would have in my 20s without uncovering all of that about myself. So I have to say, in my 30s, I have built the healthiest relationship with myself, the most honest relationship with myself. And that has been really refreshing and welcomed for me. And I'll be completely upfront. Not every part of my self-discovery journey has been like a warm, fuzzy hug, right? Sometimes you have to have these really deep, tough, uncomfortable conversations with yourself and sometimes even the people in your life. And that's not always the most fun, but the feeling that I have on the other side of that feeling of clarity or that feeling of finally being understood, that has been worth it for me. And before my 35th birthday, when I was trying to think about what I wanted to do, how I wanted to celebrate, and I couldn't really think about it because it was all clouded by these feelings that I was having, these feelings of like unrest and heaviness. And I was just like, what is this? And why does 35 feel so much more significant of a birthday to me than turning 33 did or 34? Like, what is the big deal about 35? I don't know. I still can't tell you what it is. It's just something in me felt this way. And I just felt like I had this desire for this like deep change inside me because I knew that I couldn't keep living the way I was living and the way I felt. Because if I did, it was ultimately going to kill me. And I'll explain what I mean by that. I was waking up feeling like I was drowning. I was going to sleep feeling like I was drowning. There was not a point in my day where I did not feel completely stressed out and overwhelmed by everything. Like even the smallest of tasks could send me into a spiral. I was having such a hard time keeping my brain focused on anything for longer than like 3 seconds. I would like leave work meetings and cry because I could not even, I was like, what did we even just discuss? Please, I hope somebody took notes because my brain was everywhere and nowhere all at the very same time. And I knew that if I just kept going on like this, I was going to drive myself crazy. I knew I was drifting further and further away from the version of myself that I've always wanted to be, the mother I've always wanted to be, the wife I've always wanted to be, the employee I've always wanted to be, just everything. And I was like, I can't keep living like this. Like something's got to give and something's got to change. But I realized like I was letting a lot of external factors and stress and things that I were out of my control ultimately control how I moved throughout my day, how I navigated, how I communicated with my loved ones. And it was not good. It was all very, very negative. And I kept waiting, like eventually my luck is going to change and something is just going to make all of this go away and I'm going to feel better again. And then I had this epiphany that like that's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. And if you're unhappy with yourself, if you're unhappy with your life, it is solely within your control to redesign yourself and your life to be what you want it to be. And it might sound crazy because I still didn't know where to begin, but just the realization alone that nobody was going to save me and this was my responsibility and my job to fix, that felt powerful. I was able to step out of that whole like, woe is me, why is this happening to me? I'm a victim here mindset, and step into like my power of, yeah, this happened and it sucked and I hate it, but this is what I'm going to do about it, or this is how I'm choosing to feel about it. This is how I'm choosing to move through it. That alone, that shift was huge for me. It led me on a mission to continue this like deep dive into myself and figure out exactly who I wanted to be and how I wanted to show up in this world and like what the roadmap to get there was. I started doing way more journaling. Like every morning I was dedicating like 10 minutes to journaling, writing prompts about, like what the future me looked like, what her life looked like, what did her day look like, things like that. I started doing more reading too. I read, and not just my favorite kind of reading, which is like dark romance, like helpful reading, reading not for pleasure, but for learning. I read or reread, I will say, Atomic Habits, because I read that 1 or 2 years ago. I can't remember, but I wasn't ready for the information, so it didn't land with me at all this time. So many better takeaways for me. It resonated with me more. And that book is really more about how to compound like these tiny positive habits to basically make like big impact on your life. And then the other book that I read that just really resonated with me was The 12-Week Year. If you have not read that book, I highly recommend it if you're looking to be more productive or you have some big goals that you want to achieve in maybe a short period of time. That book is more so about, the concept is breaking your 12-month year down into quarters, essentially. So you're getting 4 years in 1 year, because it is much easier to keep sight on a goal and stay focused when you're working in a condensed timeline than it is when you have 365 days to do it. We all know this. We've all failed at countless New Year's resolutions. So in a 12-week year, you have to be way more dedicated, way more focused. And the biggest, most important word of all, this is Elmo's word of my lifetime, I think, and that is disciplined. You have to be disciplined. I had no idea until right now, basically, that discipline is like the key to everything in life. I really, really thought it was motivation. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. And you know what? Some of y'all thought that too. Some of y'all were like me and you just went, I can't get to the gym because I'm not motivated to do so. I'm not motivated to clean up the house today. I just want to sit on the couch. It actually is like 90% discipline and 10% motivation. Discipline is the key. And the reason that discipline is key, and it's like 90% of the formula, is because motivation is not always going to be there. It's going to come and go. It's fleeting. So, you could buy a whole wardrobe full of new gym outfits, and that might motivate you for the first little bit, but eventually those outfits become old and they don't spark the same excitement in you anymore when your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. telling you it's time to get ready for the gym. So that's where discipline comes in, because if you are disciplined enough, you're going to show up for yourself because you know what that workout means. That workout means it's the first step of your day. It's how you set your day up properly. It's how you feel better going throughout your day. It's how you feel more awake. It's how you feel more focused. And you know that by skipping that, it's going to throw off the whole rest of your day. And it's a trade-off, but that's what discipline is. And the more and more you don't show up for yourself, the less and less reliable and trustworthy you become to yourself. So that's the other thing. I think, like it's okay to cut yourself slack. It's okay to want to just be comfortable sometimes. But I feel like as adults, we sometimes, because we don't have anybody pushing us, we don't have anybody that we need to be accountable for, we like really lean into comfort, right? Like if I have a hard day at work, I'm like, I just deserve to sit on the couch and do nothing, even though I know that I'm going to feel like crap tomorrow because I didn't fold those 3 baskets of laundry that I had waiting for me. And it's just going to keep piling until the task becomes more overwhelming. So disciplined me would just say, I had a hard day, but I told myself that today was the day I was folding this laundry and putting it away, and I'm going to show up for myself, because if I don't show up for me now, me tomorrow is going to be really, really upset angry, and overwhelmed. And that's going to carry into every interaction that I have throughout the entire day. And ultimately, I decided that's not worth it. So disciplined me shows up for myself and future me and sits down and does the task that I said I was going to do. And I mean, listen, if I had a hard day at work, my reward doesn't need to be sitting on the couch not doing anything. I can fold the laundry. By the way, I'm still sitting on the couch while I do that. It's not very strenuous. That's what I have to tell myself anyway. But like I could reward myself afterwards with a treat, a sweet treat, a glass of wine maybe to unwind, a bubble bath, a face mask, anything really. But I still need to show up and do the thing that I said I was going to do. And that realization and deciding that I'm just going to work on being a more disciplined version of me has already set the wheels in motion for so many positive changes throughout my life. So I will say that I started this journey right just before I turned 35, like maybe 2 months before, where I started building these like little micro habits just to like get myself in the habit of doing these things to see how it felt. And the first one that I did was making my bed every day, which is so funny because I used to laugh every time like a productivity influencer mentioned like starting your day with making your bed, because they'd make it like it was such a big deal, right? Like it sets the tone for the rest of the day. Like it felt like, be so for real. It's making a bed. Like that does not affect how my day goes. And essentially it doesn't, right? Like I don't have a good or bad day because I didn't make my bed or I made my bed. But what it does for me is, one, it gives me like this feeling of like just order. When I walk into my bedroom, it feels calming. It doesn't feel as chaotic because like that bed is made in the middle of the room. And two, it's like one of the first things I get to tick off my to-do list in the day. And it just gives you this sense of accomplishment already, like so early in the day. And you want to keep that momentum going. So I will say that one was actually a pretty big one for me. And the next habit I tried to build was waking up early every morning. And I am happy to report that I am now like a 5:30 riser, 6 a.m. on like a sleep-in morning. And that sounds awful to some of you, I'm sure, but I have to tell you, it has been life-changing for me. Life-changing, especially with two little kids who are both in school. My kids are in two different schools. It just allows me more time in the morning to get through everything. And when I'm not rushing through my morning to get everybody where they need to be, one, I'm in a better mood when I'm dealing with everybody, so I'm not snapping at my kids as much. And two, that sets the tone for the rest of my day. I realized that having a stressful morning where I was like, oh my gosh, why aren't your shoes on? And like, you barely ate your breakfast. And like, how did you already get something on your shirt? We don't have time for this. Like, getting that all out of my way, like eliminating that from the morning has made my whole day so much better. And I feel like it's probably made my kids' day so much better too, because I'm sure being snapped at all morning when you're just living life the way you normally do as a child is stressful for them. It is, and it's not their fault. They're figuring it out too. They've never been 4 and 5, and I've never been a mom of a 4 and 5-year-old. So we're all learning, but giving myself more time allows me to give everybody else in our household more grace as they move throughout their mornings. Starting with those two little tasks and turning them into habits really became the catalyst of me moving forward, because I realized that with those two tiny little minuscule changes and doing those things every day, that I was improving the quality of my life, and I personally was just feeling better about my days. And I was like, wow, if I stick to this, if I keep this up, just think about how much better I'm going to feel when I start adding new positive habits and compounding on these things. And I truly did. I started adding little things. I'm currently in the middle of my own 12-week year, which I'll talk about more in a future video. But so far, it's been so good.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear mommy. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. So here's your notice that as I work on myself, things around here might start to look a little bit different, because I kind of want my content to reflect the journey that I'm on. Hopefully that inspires some people. Hopefully you stick around, you enjoy it, you catch a vibe. And here's a little love note to anyone who is struggling right now in their own life or was feeling the way I was feeling. It's okay. You're down. You don't have to be out. You can stand up, and you have all of the power and all of the tools that you need to redesign your life, rebuild brick by brick to be exactly what you want it to be, for you to be exactly who you want to be. And you are worth investing in. No matter how many times you tried and failed before, you are still worth trying and investing in now. And you don't have to run away from discipline. Discipline is not a dirty word. That's how I truly felt about it. I felt like discipline would restrict me. Discipline would take away my joy because I'd be like a little military sergeant. When in fact, discipline is the thing that is allowing me the time, the energy, and the clarity to chase my dreams and to become that better version of myself. So don't run away from discipline. It's not scary. It's what you do for yourself when you love yourself. So those are my final words. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys decide to subscribe and stick around if you're not already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.